Today we're going to be talking about the benefits for the low vision community in using a standing desk. Hey guys, it's Sam with The Blind Life. Welcome back to the channel where I help you learn how to live your best blind life. Firstly, I got to say, I'm sorry for the way I sound. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm going to push through because this is great information for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about standing desks, and in particular, the FlexiSpot E6 dual motor standing desk. A huge thank you to FlexiSpot for sending this table out to me. I've been wanting to talk about standing desks for quite a while because they have a ton of benefits, not just for health, but also for us in the low vision community. Although I don't have a ton of experience with standing desks, I've seen a couple here and there, so I can tell that the FlexiSpot dual motor standing desk is super high quality. It comes in several different variations, color variations, and several different sizes. But the most important thing is the dual motor. This is definitely an upgrade. With those two motors, it's incredibly strong and stable. In fact, when I was planning this video out and speaking with FlexiSpot, they were like, this table can hold up to 350 pounds. So we'd love for you to show the table rising with you sitting on it. I thought, are you sure? I'm not 350, but I'm not a light guy. But sure enough, yeah, it worked no problem. I was more worried about myself falling off of this thing than its ability to lift me. The table is a very simple design. It has the two main legs. Each leg has its own motor, which gives it incredible strength and lifting power. All of the cables and everything is hidden underneath the table within the hardware. The table comes with rolling caster style wheels, so if you want to be able to move it around, you can definitely do that. You can also choose to not have the wheels on if you're not planning on moving the table around. The control panel attaches to the bottom of the table, and one thing I really like about the control panel is that it's very tactile. It's no problem in finding the individual buttons just by touch. You have an up and down button. Pressing and holding that will either raise or lower the table, but you also have several preset buttons that can be programmed to certain heights. This is going to be great if you just want to stand up quickly, set it to your preferred standing height, and then get right back to work. Or if you're going to be sharing this table with multiple people, everybody can have their own preset height setting. I mentioned that the motors on the table is super strong. It is. Obviously, it lifted me up, but even at its maximum height, the table is also very stable. It's a stable table. So this is going to be great if you have a lot of weight on there. Say you're rocking multiple monitors, you've got your desktop, raising it up and down. You don't have to worry about anything shaking or rattling or falling off. The motors are also incredibly quiet, which is great. Then finally, the motors also have this great feature where when raising or lowering the table, if the table encounters any kind of resistance, it automatically stops and reverses the opposite direction. It's pretty sensitive right out of the gate, but you can adjust the sensitivity through the controls. So this is going to be great if you're lowering the table, for example, and maybe the chair gets in the way or your dog gets in the way, something. You know, sometimes these things happen. And as soon as it hits any type of resistance, it just stops and then reverses the opposite direction. And the reason why I've been thinking about featuring a standing desk on the channel for a while is because of all the applications where it can be extremely helpful for us with low vision. I've made plenty of videos in the past about us being bent over at a computer, leaning in to see the monitor, working in the kitchen, having to lean over to chop vegetables. We're constantly bent over trying to see what we're doing. Well, having the ability to instead raise that surface up so you're not bent over anymore, I've found it super helpful in many different ways. So that's something to think about. We oftentimes think of standing desks as just that, a desk, but it really doesn't have to be. It could just simply be a multi-level, multi-height table that could be used for anything. You could totally use it for a desk, but it would also be great for crafts like sewing, jigsaw puzzles, game night. I mean, heck, even when I was putting the table together, I was using my video magnifier and found it extremely helpful to just raise the table up a little bit so I didn't have to bend down to look at the screen of the CCTV. So that is why I think a standing desk like the FlexiSpot E6 is fantastic for low vision. Really, the only downside I see is putting it together. It is a bit of a beast to assemble. Heavy parts, lots of little parts, so you definitely will need at least 2 people, but also one of your sighted supporters to put it together. Assembling the desk, installing the motors, all of that is not accessible, unfortunately. But once it's together, you're all good. I, of course, will have information listed in the video description down below, including information about how you can get 60% off the table during Prime Day. All the links for all of that will be in the video description, so definitely check it out. And once again, huge thank you to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. That's it for this one, guys. As always, Sam with The Blind Life. I love your face, and I will see you next time.